Hi Aries, this is your forecast for the month of August 2017. If you have visited me before, thank you for returning. And if you are new, welcome. This is a general reading for Aries Sun, Aries Rising, or Aries Moon. It may be helpful to watch your rising and moon sign as well. You can also join me on Facebook and Instagram for daily insights on tarot and astrology, as well as my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/The Alchemist Astrologer, for love, finance, and other readings. All right, Aries, for you this first week of August, you are dealing with earth energy. If this is a person, this is a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female. Perhaps you have strong earth energy in your chart, or just the situation requires the skills of this king. So this is going to be a week where you're very focused on the money. You're concerned about what kind of money you're making, what you're bringing in, what's going out. You're focused on that bottom line, the expenses, the ledger. This could be a week where, you're focused on putting that money in the bank. You want some sense of protection, and you're looking at your investments, maybe some real estate transactions. Some of you may be involved in some large purchases. There could be an issue of ownership this week. Whatever it is, you are focused on moving up that ladder, increasing your income, earning some kind of success. You may be involved in some money discussions, some money talks. And again, you could be offering some financial advice, or you could be seeking that advice. But you're very focused on your worldly success, your ambitions, and putting forth that initiative to make things happen. In the negative, there could be, for some of you, a lack of business sense, or maybe you're working to the point where you're becoming a workaholic. There's an excessive worry about finances or an obsession. There could be some business issues where somebody is poorly managing something, or they're disorganized, or again, this king, money means everything, and you could be involved in situations where career and money come before everything else. And so there could be some insensitivity, perhaps some dishonesty. For some people, there could be, issues of greed or fraud. This could be a week where somebody's being very rigid in their thinking, very stubborn. But on the whole, the focus is on making some kind of emotional and security advancement, trying to find new avenues that open up things that would bring some sense of security for you. You're also looking at your partnerships, whatever they are, whether they are business, friendship-wise, or romantic. And this could be a week where you're very inclined to solidify those connections. You are focused on settling down. And for some of you, because of that, you're really going over your connections. You're being more selective about who you get involved with, who's in your world. Maybe you're being very critical about the people that you're involved with. Some of you, you're feeling this deepening bond with someone else that is mutual because you share the same affinity with one another, and you may be offering something, some type of proposal, maybe a financial offer, maybe you're asking somebody out on a date, or you're telling somebody how much they mean to you. Could even be a marriage proposal, or you may be receiving that from someone. But for some of you, this is about an excessive focus on the material, a lack of spirituality, where if you're involved with someone else, there could be issues of control where somebody's being too controlling, too demanding, of the other party. And this could be a week where you feel as if there's a lot of clutter in your life to deal with. Now, the second week you have a major card. Again, this is earth energy. This could be a Taurus in your life. This is about following the rules, doing the right thing, whatever you consider the right thing to be, doing what is expected. Some of you, maybe you are getting financial advice. This is a card about a body of knowledge and being willing to share that with others. So you may be getting some advice regarding property transactions, your investments, finances, banking. So you may be seeking some kind of professional advice this week, or you may just be dealing with institutions, the establishment, as it were. This could be churches, it could be schools, the banking industry, it could be the government. Anything that has some type of code or requirement attached to it. So this is a week that strongly focuses on the traditional, the conventional, and following conventional wisdom. So you may be involved in the system in some way. Again, if there was a marriage proposal, maybe you're making that commitment to go ahead and marry your partner. Or maybe you're involved with somebody where commitment is an issue. It's at the crux of a situation. Because this is a week that focuses on how serious are you with regard to your intentions. Now, if you're focused on getting ahead financially or with regard to your ambitions, this could be a week that is extremely productive for you. You could make a lot of advances if you're putting forth that hard effort, you're focused. If not, though, if you're mismanaging, this could be a week where there are going to be some repercussions for the choices that you've made. So this week, your professional life, your personal life, your home life, all of that is going to be just a little bit, it's going to pick up a notch for you. And things are going to be very challenging, very demanding, while also possibly very exciting at the same time. Now, last week's energy said be discerning, and you were going to be more critical of those in your circle. And indeed, this week, this emphasis is on just that. Be careful about who you're bringing into your life, who you're partnering up with, what kind of business dealings you're involved with. So choose your lovers, your partners carefully, because this week can be a week of drama. And there could be some type of intrigue or, something going on where there's gossip, there's rumor, there are accusations, there are disputes, there are issues. And some of that may be swirling around you. You may be the center of it, or you may just be on the sidelines. But either way, you're going to have a hard time removing yourself from sticky situations this week. Now, in the positive, you're able to do what is expected and have that laser focus on your goals. And you're willing to compromise with others. You're willing to see their side of a situation. And because of that, some of your relationships, again, are going to strengthen and deepen. And others you're going to look at and decide you want to scale those back because they're only bringing problems into your life. This could be a week where maybe you had an expectation, and if something didn't live up to that, you're going to have a hard time dealing with it. You're going to feel as if you've been cheated, as if you didn't get what was due to you. And you may feel somewhat discouraged. But part of the situation is that you somehow fell short. More than likely, you didn't follow through on something. Or you had a pattern of behavior where you made promises that you didn't actually deliver on. It could have been small things that after a period of time just accumulated and became the last straw for somebody. So either something you've been doing or the way you've been communicating is creating a setback for you professionally or in your personal connections with others. Also, it could be that you are very focused on financial concerns, and that's an ongoing issue for you that you're having to address. So this is a week to be mindful of your behavior, acting reckless or impulsive or foolish or even dangerously without realizing it. This is a week for you to make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. This is the time for you to fact check and check one more time before you move further on a decision. This may have something to do with, not attending to responsibilities and focusing more on taking care of yourself, reveling in some kind of indulgence, or perhaps, too much spending on luxury, too much spending on, not being aware of that bottom dollar and what it's really costing you in the end. This could be a week where your connections really come into play, where you're really looking at the people you're connected to. And again, those connections are growing stronger, or you're very opposed to someone and you're taking those feelings and acting in ways that, again, will create some repercussions. You're trying to do something where you're rationalizing that the ends justifies the means, and it's going to be easy for you this week to convince yourself to go outside of convention. So this is about knowing, when to follow the tried and true or when to be original. The negative for this card is procrastination. So part of your issues this week may center around, again, saying you're going to do something and then not following up on it. Creating some kind of deadline and then falling behind and not meeting that deadline. Last week you could have been getting some kind of messages that gave you some kind of self-awareness. Now, if you were taking that in and doing some contemplation and some inner listening, again, this could be a week that's very focused on, getting good results, being productive, being creative. But if not, this is going to be a week where you're going to have to deal with some challenges that in large part you brought on yourself. Now, the third week you have dealings probably with people at a distance, or perhaps you're taking a trip. Maybe you're going somewhere where you've been before. It could be that you were expected to do something where you needed to help someone, or perhaps you are trying to move on from some type of commitment. Maybe there's been a period of suffering. This is about toxic interactions, toxic behaviors, toxic connections, abusive situations. And so you may be trying to create some beneficial changes in your life right now and moving on from something. Perhaps you're moving on from something that you were expected to do. So this could be a week where in any area of your life, personally, professionally, legally, medically, you're going to feel as if you're back at a starting place that feels awfully familiar to you. You're having to go back and address some things, and it feels as if you're starting over again, and not necessarily in a good way. You've got a destination goal in mind. And somehow, though, you're going to have to work harder to get there. You're going to have to understand yourself, what drives you to do things perhaps that aren't good for you, or you're going to have to try to understand another person's point of view or their vantage point. So this week requires patience on your part. For some of you, again, you're traveling. Maybe this is unexpected. But this has the potential to benefit you in some way and change your perspective, whatever this situation is, whether you're traveling physically or just you're traveling with your mind. If last week you found it difficult to get out of sticky situations, by this week you figured it all out and you're like, hey, I'm through. And you're able to remove yourself from things that waste your time, things that are pointless. And maybe you're coming to terms with some bad habits that have been limiting you from getting ahead. So you're prioritizing this week. You're deciding what is worth your time and what's not. And you want to make sure that you have the time to honor the things that mean something to you. So for some of you, you may be connecting with people that actually mean something to you, somebody that you care about, or someone that you enjoy could unexpectedly reappear in your life this week. Whatever it is, you're having to be patient. Your courage is called for. And negatively, strength of character is important, because this could be a week where there could be some disappointments, and it all goes back to that Hierophant card, doing what's expected, doing the right thing. And someone could be failing you yet again. This again is a familiar situation. This isn't new to you. And whoever this is, they've done this before. And maybe you were putting some stock in hoping that they would change, or this time it would be better. And yet again, you're back at the same place. So some things that maybe you thought were cleared up, resolved, understood, come back and rear an ugly head this week. So for some of you, you're going to have to start over. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But the message is, look carefully at how you are expending your time, your energy, your resources, your belief in others. Maybe you are putting too much stock in people that really don't deserve it. Maybe you're connecting with others, and on a deeper level, they're wrong for you. They're not going to bring anything positive. So this could be a week where you are repeating some old mistakes, some bad habits. For some of you, you're trying to get past this negative point, and you want to bring something to life. You want to move past those things that have been holding you back and attract more of what you desire. Maybe you're trying to wield your influence over others to make that happen. But for many of you, this is a week where, again, you will realize that you've been dealing with some illusions, some smoke and mirror, and largely you've been fooling yourself, and you need to take some steps, because the people and the situations that you've been counting on to come through are going to fail you in some way. Now, the last week you have this Two of Pentacles, and so you could feel some emotional ups and downs. Maybe you're going back and forth with others about an issue. Maybe you're going back and forth with yourself. This speaks to having to make a choice of some sort. Maybe you're choosing between two financial opportunities, or you're choosing between two situations that offer you some type of security. Maybe you're choosing between two people. Some of you, you're just juggling multiple obligations. Now, this could go back to that Hierophant card, where you're promising way more than you're able to deliver, and now by the end of this month, you are really shuffling and trying to make it all come together. For some of you, you are focused on production of some sort. Maybe you have commitments to people at a distance, and you have to produce some goods and get them out there and get that thing shuffling, exchange your goods or your services. So you're having to skillfully manipulate your time and your energy and your resources. For some of you, you're moving on from something. You've decided that something doesn't work for you. You're getting a new job. You're changing your environment. You're making some changes. There is some movement in your situation, whatever that is. For some of you, there's going to be, you're going to receive something, perhaps a gift of money, a gift of an opportunity. whatever that is, there's some change. There's a need for flexibility to adapt to a situation. You're juggling. Now, in the negative, you're juggling because you have spread yourself too thin, either with your time or your money, and you're having to borrow from one bank in order to put that in another account. And I'm speaking of your personal time and money and energy. So this is a week where you're going to have to be ready for whatever's coming at you. And there's going to be a lot. You're going to have to multitask this week. And for some of you, that change is going to be something in your romantic life or your financial situation that brings about an unexpected stroke of good luck or opportunity when and where you least expect it. So for some of you, you're making this beneficial change and you're able to reprioritize, to multitask, to juggle what's on your agenda. And you may be looking over your income and making some changes, restructuring some things, creating a budget, moving things around because you're focused on the long range. So some of you, you're going to be looking at your finances. Others of you, you're going to be looking at relationships. In fact, this juggling could be between two people. Maybe you're tempted towards something, or you're seduced by something. For some of you, last week I said you might be seeing somebody that you hadn't expected to see. This could be an unexpected encounter that you're having with somebody. For others of you, though, the change is negative and you need to move away from people that have disappointed you, because this week you realize that something you wanted, you're not going to get. And maybe you are avoiding some issues by, having something go on with you as far as your health. Maybe these are psychosomatic. Maybe they're real. Maybe they're imaginary. Whatever they are, you're using it as an option to avoid a situation, something that you don't want to deal with, something that you don't want to face. So for you, this could be a week where, you haven't gotten real. There's some unrealistic thinking, unrealistic goals that result in you feeling irritable, experiencing these emotional ups and downs, this depression, and feeling like you're on a ride. Now, the underlying energy is this Queen of Wands. So this is fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this queen are very important this month. Now, she is all about the business, being enterprising, getting what she wants, positioning herself. And so she's very creative. She's very passionate, very magnetic. And there's a lot of fierce determination. And that could be important for you this month. Your determination, your power to influence other people, and the ability to pursue your own interests. So this can be, somebody who is perhaps a bit domineering, but the point of which is, she wants to make something happen, and she's using the power of her attraction, her charisma, to promote herself, her assets, and to create the situation that she wants to see. So she enjoys competition, she loves money, and she's passionate in her expression. Now, in the negative, she's interfering in other people's affairs. She's the busybody, she's the gossip, and that reminds me of the Hierophant and these unkind accusations that are going to possibly be taking place at some point in the month. This is somebody who is jealous, she's vengeful, she's frustrated because she's not able to claim her power the way that she wants to, and as a result, she becomes volatile. So, her sense of self is overinflated. And so she may be trying to impose her value on others. It could be, again, she could be very overly businesslike in order to suit her purposes. So this is going to be a month where you're going to try to shift the flow of events to turn out the way you want them to. You're going to want opinions to go in your favor. And so there's going to be, a tendency for you to take a risk, and there's going to be a tendency to go towards some kind of extreme behavior. And again, that points to that Hierophant, being dangerous, being reckless, and perhaps even without realizing, doing something that's going to cost you at some point. The focus is on this, reaping abundance of some sort. And it could be ties to gratitude, or somebody thinking, that they don't have what they should have. There could be a scarcity mentality here. This is going to be a month, though, that strongly focuses on being noticed, getting recognized, getting the appreciation that's due. And some of you are going to be, like a magnet. People are going to be drawn to you like, bees to honey. So a lot of people are going to be connecting to you, or want to. You're going to have a lot of suitors, a lot of people that are interested in what you're doing, and a lot of goals and personalities to contend with that are going to arouse that desire for adventure, for excitement, for stepping out of the edge, for coloring outside of that line. Now, for some of you, though, there's going to be a desire that's, playing out negatively for that attention, and you're going to make a nuisance of yourself, or someone you're connected to is, because they're trying so hard to get that thing that they're becoming overbearing. It's too in your face. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of passion, determination, and desire this month. Now, again, this all comes down to weighing your options about something, about what's best for you. You're going to have opportunities throughout the month to get some clarity, to get some clarification on things, so that you can understand where you are in the game, and that you can move forward more efficiently and handle your daily life in a better manner. And it's also going to come down to how attached you are to situations, to people. Are you for them, or are you against them? Are they supporting you, or are they working against you? That's going to be a focus, and it's largely going to center around your ambitions. This could be a month where there's, a lack of, while there's passion, there could be a lack of gentle, loving emotion, or it could just be that logic is what's ruling the day. This is something that is happened before, that's coming back to you. It's something cyclical. You've experienced this situation in some form or another before. And there could be some benefits that are going to come through other people, or it could be that favors are expected, either on your part or on the part of someone else. And it's likely to tie to that Queen of Wands. Now, there's going to be some tension that you feel, some inner conflict. And part of this is because of that earth energy. Both the King of Pentacles and the Hierophant have the tendency to be fixed, rigid, dogmatic in thinking. And so there are going to be some issues where somebody is set in their ways. And there's a fear of perhaps being original, stepping out there into the unknown. And in spite of, what could be a beneficial change, somebody's afraid. It makes sense on paper. It makes sense intellectually, but emotionally, they're doing the opposite, because that's what's safe, that's what's familiar, even though it's not working. There's also a need for somebody to assert authority, whether that's you or someone else. Somebody is trying to convince somebody, again, that there's a better way to handle things, to do things. Now, for some of you, you are making some beneficial changes. You're bringing some money in. You're being very productive. And for you, There's an idea that you have that can make a lot of money, or some venture that's going to turn out to be very profitable for you. For some of you, there's some changes that somebody wants to make. They want to change the way that they're living, but it's not going to happen unless they can get some outside help. All right, Aries, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.